You just got the raise. The number is on your screen. Higher than you expected. You read it twice. You feel it. That specific warmth of a number that finally matches what you believed you were worth. You close the laptop. You tell yourself this changes things. 8 months later, you are sitting in exactly the same financial anxiety you were in before the raise arrived. The number in your account is higher. The feeling is identical. Sound familiar? Because here is what nobody in personal finance will tell you about that moment. The raise did not disappear. You did not spend it recklessly. You did not make bad decisions. Your brain absorbed it, automatically, without your permission. The way it absorbs every income increase you have ever received. The way it will absorb every income increase you ever receive in the future, unless you understand exactly what it is doing and why. Goldman Sachs conducts an annual survey called the Modern Wealth Survey. In their most recent data, only 8% of Americans earning above $300,000 a year describe themselves as wealthy. 8%. The other 92%, people earning more than 6 times the median American household income, describe themselves as upper middle class, or just middle class. $300,000 a year. And they do not feel wealthy. That is not a budgeting problem. That is a neurological one, and it has been documented since 1971. By the end of this video, you will understand the specific brain mechanism behind that feeling, and the one approach to every raise that is genuinely different from every piece of financial advice you have ever heard. In 1971, psychologists Philip Brickman and Donald Campbell published a paper that changed how researchers understood human happiness. They studied lottery winners, people who had experienced one of the largest sudden income increases a human being can have, and what they found should stop every finance creator cold. Within 12 months, lottery winners reported the same level of life satisfaction as people who had won nothing. Not slightly lower, not somewhat elevated, the same. The brain has a baseline happiness level, a reference point, and it defends that reference point against almost everything. Good fortune, bad fortune, income increases, lifestyle upgrades, windfalls, losses, all of it gets absorbed. The reference point resets. The new situation becomes the new normal, and the new normal immediately begins to feel insufficient. Brickman and Campbell called this hedonic adaptation. The brain's ability and compulsion to adapt to new circumstances and return to a stable emotional baseline. It is not a character flaw. It is not ingratitude. It is the most fundamental feature of human psychology, the mechanism that kept your ancestors from becoming so satisfied with yesterday's meal that they forgot to hunt for tomorrow's. In a world of predators and scarcity, that reference point reset kept people alive. In the modern financial world, it is the most expensive thing running in your head, because here is what the reference point reset actually does to your finances. Every raise you receive does 2 things simultaneously. The first thing is obvious. It increases your income. The second thing is invisible. It increases the income level your brain considers normal, your reference point, by approximately the same amount. Within 8 months, the income goes up. The reference point follows. The gap between them, the gap where savings and investment live, stays roughly the same, or shrinks. This is why Jordan feels like he is barely keeping up at $140,000 a year. Jordan is 34, software engineer. He has received 4 significant raises in 10 years. At 24, he was earning $65,000. At 27, he hit $85,000. Within 8 months, the 65 felt inadequate. At 30, he crossed $110,000. Within 8 months, the 85 felt tight. At 34, he earns $140,000. He has the specific feeling that he is one unexpected expense away from a problem. He is earning more than twice what he started on. He has approximately the same financial anxiety he had at 24. Not because he spent recklessly, because each raise arrived, felt extraordinary for 3 months, became normal by month 4, felt insufficient by month 6, and was entirely absorbed into his lifestyle by month 8. 4 raises, 0 raises worth of savings. This is what I call the reference point follower. Not because Jordan is undisciplined, Because his lifestyle tracks his income so precisely that every raise he has ever received has produced zero lasting financial distance. The reference point moves. The spending follows. The gap between income and wealth stays the same or shrinks. Most people earning above $100,000 are reference point followers, not because they are careless, because nothing in the financial education system ever told them that the raise and the reference point are two separate things, and that only one of them is on their side. Here is the math behind what that costs. When Jordan received his first raise, from $65,000 to $85,000, the difference was $1,667 a month. If he had invested that difference the day the raise arrived and left it for 7 years at 7%, it would be $181,000 today. His second raise, 85 to 110, added $2,083 a month. Invested for 4 years, $115,000 today. His third raise, 110 to 140, added $2,500 a month. He just got this one, invested forward for 10 years, $435,000. 3 raises, $1,667, absorbed in year 3, $2,083, absorbed in year 7, $2,500, absorbed right now. Total compounded cost of 3 raises absorbed into the reference point instead of invested, $731,000. Jordan does not have $731,000. He has approximately $200,000 in retirement accounts. Every dollar of every raise went somewhere. Into restaurants that felt appropriate for someone at his level, into a car upgrade, into a neighborhood that matched his new income, into the reference point. None of it is still working for him. The consumer economy was not accidentally designed around this mechanism. Every advertising system on Earth is built on one specific insight. The brain adapts to what it has and desires what it has not yet adapted to. The car advertisement is not selling transportation. It is selling the feeling your current car used to give you before your reference point reset. The apartment listing is not selling square footage. It is selling the feeling your current home gave you in month 1. The entire consumer economy is a machine that profits from the gap between what your reference point has settled on and what it has not settled on yet. Your raise is not extra money. It is the raw material the consumer economy is waiting to claim, the moment your reference point resets around it. So what actually defeats this? Not discipline. Hedonic adaptation defeats discipline by making the upgrade feel earned. After 4 years of grinding toward a raise, the apartment upgrade does not feel like a weakness. It feels like the point. You cannot guilt yourself out of a biological reset mechanism. Not budgeting. A budget tells you what you spent. It does not tell your reference point where to stop. The only thing that works is what I call the thirds rule person. The thirds rule person is not someone who earns more than Jordan. They are not more disciplined than Jordan. They are not smarter about money than Jordan. They are someone who learned to treat the raise and the reference point as 2 separate events, and who pre-allocates the raise before the reference point is told it arrived. Here is exactly what that looks like. When a raise arrives, your brain registers 3 competing needs simultaneously. The need to build something permanent with it. The need to actually feel the improvement in your daily life. Because if the raise produces no felt improvement, the brain has no evidence it happened. And adaptation to the old level continues. And the need to protect yourself against the emergencies that become more expensive as your lifestyle expands. Most financial advice addresses only the first need. Save it, invest it, do not spend it. This is why most financial advice fails on hedonic adaptation. It asks you to deny the second and third needs entirely. The brain rebels. The upgrade happens anyway, 3 months later, with credit. The thirds rule addresses all 3 simultaneously. When your raise arrives, before you spend a single dollar of it, before you look at apartments, before you test drive anything, you divide the monthly increase into 3 equal parts. 1/3 goes to investment. Permanently, the day the first new paycheck arrives, not automated away invisibly, deliberately chosen, named, directed. You are not hiding it from yourself. You are allocating it before the reference point has time to incorporate it. 1/3 goes to a deliberate lifestyle upgrade of your choosing, not the upgrade the reference point drifts toward. One specific upgrade you choose consciously before the drift begins. One dinner out a week instead of one a month. A better gym. The thing you actually wanted. This matters because the brain needs evidence the raise happened. If it gets no evidence, it will manufacture evidence through unconscious spending across dozens of small categories you will not be able to account for. 1/3 goes to a protection buffer, separate account, untouchable, sized for the emergencies that come with your new lifestyle level. Because as the reference point rises, the cost of maintaining it under pressure rises with it. Jordan used this framework on his most recent raise, the $30,000 increase, $2,500 a month, $833 went to his investment account on the first of the month. $833 went to a specific deliberate upgrade he had been wanting for 2 years. Not an apartment, not a car, but the thing he had been deferring. Something that actually mattered to him. $833 went to a separate account he does not look at. His reference point got evidence that the raise happened. One real, chosen, felt improvement. His investment account got permanent, immediate, named capital. His protection buffer got funded. And the remaining 2/3 of the raise, everything that was not explicitly directed, was never available for the reference point to claim. Because by the time the reference point began drifting, it had already been allocated. This is not automation. It is not a window. It is not a timer. It is the deliberate architecture of a raise before your brain decides what the raise means. Your brain will still adapt. The third's raise will still feel normal within 8 months. That is hedonic adaptation. It cannot be stopped. But the first third is already compounding, and the next raise gets the same architecture. I want to come back to that moment. You just got the raise. The number is on your screen. You feel the warmth of it. This time you open a piece of paper before you close the laptop. You write 3 numbers, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. You name where each one goes, before any of it becomes part of what your life normally costs. 8 months later, the raise feels normal. The investment account does not feel normal. It feels like it is growing. Because it is. Who are you when the raise arrives? And you already know what it is going to become before your reference point decides. Because that person, the one who split it before the drift began, who gave the brain its evidence and gave the future its capital, that person compounds too.